Hi there, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and I'm going back to old school commanders today. This is one I've got built in real life, but I've done a completely different build on MTGO, purely because I wanted to use a mechanic, not abuse, that's the wrong word, use a mechanic that I haven't used before, and that's the companion mechanic. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you my take on Animar, Soul of Elements. Green, blue and red for a 1/1 legendary elemental. Protection from white, protection from black. That's good. That gets around the most common targeted removal spells you'll see. And whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Animar. And creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Animar. It's interesting. Animar's usually one of two ways. Lots and lots of 1-drop creatures to get the counters up really quickly, and then some big finishers. Or I'm trying it, which is the usual way you'll see it played on MTGO, but I'm trying it a completely different way today. I'm including a companion. It's something I haven't done before, and the companion I'm including is Keruga, the Macro Sage, who's 3 and then blue or green, and blue and green. And as a companion, your starting deck contains only cards with mana value 3 or greater, and land cards, which is why the deck below looks a bit strange. But when Keruga enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with mana value 3 or greater. That is really, really good. And considering we're probably going to be able to get Keruga in our hand for 3, and then by the time we get around to casting it, Animar will have a few counters on it. It's probably going to cost us 2, and we get to draw a load of extra cards. It seemed like a bit of a no-brainer to me. So I'm trying this out. This is a bit of a laugh. So here's the deck take. Start with the lands as usual. There are a lot of lands in this deck that are duals, all the way through. Mainly because we've got a 3-colour commander, which we want to be able to cast one more time, and because why not? Really, there's no other reason for it. I have included Fable Passage and Field of the Dead just so we do get some creatures in early that could be relevant to what's happening with this deck. We're probably going to need some blockers at some stage. I've included a couple of cards in the deck. They're a little bit pricey in real life, but not too bad on MTGO. So obviously Field of the Dead's one of them. We've got Gaze Cradle in here because we're going to need to ramp really quickly. And then we'll just go through the rest of them. We have included Reliquary Tower, so you know when we get the cards of Keruga, we haven't got to discard anything. So Reliquary Tower's in. We got some of the new lands in, and we got a few old favourites in. Have played the temples. All 3 of the temples in the right colours are in, along with Temple of the False God, and then finally Yavimar Cradle of Growth, because most of the cards we've got are green, so we need to make sure we can hit that green mana when we need to. So. No 1-drops, no 0s, no ramp for me. If you've watched my videos before, you know I usually have Soul Ring, I have one of the Moxers, we have things that suspend, so on and so forth. None of that, because it's all under 3 mana costs, and we're keeping it above there. So, the only ramp we have got, Chromatic Lantern, Coalition Relic, and Skyclave Relic. They're in here, that's it, that's our ramp. But creature-wise, we'll go down, we've got Thassa, God of the Seas. Just so when we do get our creatures in, we can get them into hit. I've played Court of Catling. I've played a couple of the enchantments from original Commander Legends, which give you Monarch. This one's the mill one. I decided I want to try these out in these decks. It seems like a perfect place to try them. So the blue one just mills stuff. A little bit boring, but it does mill stuff. Chaos Warp for a little bit of control. Anything that gets too annoying, we can dump on top of our opponents. But getting back into our opponent's library and get them to shuffle it away with a bit of luck. Okay, they get a freebie off the top, but hey, we'll take that risk. Azusa, Lost But Seeking, so once we get this down, we can actually start hitting our land drops, which we'll need to do to make sure we get up and cast stuff. Cultivate's in. It's one of the few actual proper ramp spells in the deck. I've included Growing Rights of Ithlamatech as well. There's a backup Gaze Cradle for this deck, but it also digs us down and gets us some creatures that hopefully we can cast quite rapidly. Rona's is in here. We should have creatures for power 4 or more. And yeah, given our creatures +2, +0 and trample's quite nice. Hopefully we'll have a lot of mana kicking around between this and Gaze Cradle and so on and so forth. Rights of Flourishing to help us draw and play extra lands if we need to. Scoot Swarm, so we get lots and lots of insects with a bit of luck. Fever Division is an unusual one, I'll give you that. You've probably seen it some of my other deck takes. I decided to include it here again just for the card draw to help us out. And if we get to deal ping someone for some damage, all well and good. Sahili Ray for the scry ability, and we can copy stuff if we need to. Domini's in here really just so we can look at the top card and have a little bit of a fight. If we can get up to 7, give all our creatures double strike, trample, hexproof and haste, I'll be very happy and have that emblem. But in the meantime, just plus Waddingham and looking at the top card, extra draws good. Likewise, Edric's in here for the same reason. When some of our creatures get through, I'm hoping we can get some cards off this. Yeah, I'm playing Oko. I don't think we need to say anything more about Oko. We all know what Oko does by now. It seems like a reasonable inclusion in this deck, especially since I'm starting at 3 and haven't got my usual load of 1 and 2 drops. The last one of the 3 drops, apart from the things, is Temple Bell. This helps you make friends quite happily when you're playing Commander, so hopefully people will leave me alone if I start giving them extra cards. Then we go into Clone and Spark Double, just to copy anything that we might need. Clone's a little bit better because it can copy anything on the battlefield, so we can copy our opponent's creatures as well. Spark Double makes ours a little bit bigger, and we can copy some of the Planeswalkers if we need to, so we're not going to complain too much. The other Thassa's here as well, just so we can tap things down if we need to. It also lets us exile things in and out, so you know, have this in a play, drop Keruga, we can draw a lot of cards, so it's worth a chance. Hazaret, mainly just to discard and ping things if we need to kill our opponents off. This is probably one of the few cards I could take out and not miss it. Actually, while we're sitting here, I think I am actually going to do that. Yeah, we'll put Sarkin in. Let's see. Oh no, I've got Sarkin in already. Whoops. We haven't got Tamiyo complete in. We'll put Tamiyo complete in. There we go. Probably the Ungod we didn't need. Porphyros is very nice. Yes, it comes into play. Everyone gets to take 2 as creatures come in, so definitely keeping that one. Sarkhan's and Sealing, we do start casting creatures with power 4, 5 or 6. We've got the few, I don't think we've got anything that does 7, but 4, 5 or 6 is pretty damn good. We have got Broodmaster, so we get 1 shot on it. But yeah, might as well have it in and deal the full damage as our creatures come into play. Frontier Siege to help us ramp. We're not going to have any, we haven't got any flyers as such in the deck, so there's no point of worrying about the dragons thing, so this will be purely set on cards. Guardian Project, because I'm playing a green deck, and I've worked out that if I'm playing a green deck, this is actually really quite good, so we're keeping them in our green decks going forward probably. Oracle of Mildai, extra lands, extra land drops, can play lands off top of our library if need be, which is really good. Path of Discovery, so when our creatures come into play we can explore, so we can start hitting that mana we need to do things further down the food chain. Beast Whisperer for card draw, when we cast creatures we get them. The next one of the enchantments, Court of Bounties here. You become the monarch when it enters the battlefield. At the beginning of your upkeep you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield if you're the monarch. Instead you may put a creature or land card. It's a nice way to get around the casting restrictions or higher levels and get our creatures into play really quickly. Ripjaw Raptors here because when it gets dealt damage we draw a card. Bit of a no-brainer. Likewise, Storm Conduits here purely for the scry ability. We haven't got that many instants in here. And it's purely there just to go through the scry and get us some a little bit further down to our deck. Likewise, Bounty of Lux is here for the card draw and the ramp it provides. Rishimi, get an extra creature hopefully every time we cast something, so it seems like a cunning plan to me. Fonta Mythos is here, draw small cards, we need to be able to draw, so that's all good. Solemn Simulacrum, you expect to see in a lot of my decks nowadays. I would play this in every deck. It's just colourless mana ramp for no matter what you're playing. I've included Teferi's puzzle box just so we can dig into our deck and do some annoying things. It's all a little bit fun. It does upset your opponent, so you probably do become a target, but it's a good laugh when it happens. Porphyros, the other version, the Bronze Blooded's here as well. Gives all our creatures haste, what helps us win with a bit of luck. And yeah, having the second ability occasionally becomes relevant. Not that often with this deck, but occasionally it does. Tender Shoot Druid, again, get the saplings, pump things up. This and Scoot Swarm always make me giggle a little bit. I think these should have been, I think Scoot Swarm should have really been a sapling, but you know, whatever. I've included Seaborn Muse, so we can untap everything during each other player's turn. We do have some little things that could work, but at the moment, it's really just to untap all our relics and things down here. But yeah, it's always nice to have some land action. There is one land I've just realised is missing. Maybe we'll look at that. The deck list may change to what you're seeing on here. Kranos, God of the Storms, is here. That helps with some damage dealing. Obviously, you've just seen me put Tamio in. I think that's not a bad inclusion in this deck. And exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard, create a token. That could be quite useful in this deck, actually, so it probably works better. Krifix is in here. Again, I'm not sure this should be now. This deck, I'm updating this deck as we go along, basically today. I haven't played it for a long time. I'm not afraid to say that. So we might just see if we can find something better than Krifix to go in. I'm not overly impressed with Krifix sitting there, so let's just drop that out. Okay. Might as well have Avengers Zendikar in. That makes a lot more sense. Right, okay. Moria the Frost, just so we copy stuff. Sarkhan Unbroken, draw the card, add the mana. Occasionally we get a red dragon flying creature, which is quite useful. The -8 is irrelevant, but it's the first ability, pump and draw. It's always good. Surek the Dragon Claws here. This spell can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have trample. So with that and the haste ability is quite nice. Guile, yeah, ridiculously good creature. Very hard to deal with. It's a very nice creature to have. Mirror March. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under control, we hopefully get some copies if we win some coin flips. There you go, I can't even speak today. And they get haste. We exile them at the end of the beginning of the next end step. But you know, if we get something like Guile that's got a few copies, it's going to be good. Sunbird's Invocation again helps us cast spells from our library. Hopefully we'll get something fairly good off it. So yeah, we've got mainly 6s, as you can see, so we hopefully get 4 or 5, and we'll take it from there. Morags here. I'm not sure if the landfall trigger works on MTG. I haven't tried it out yet, but I decided to add her in purely because I figured the extra attack step would be quite good. Hydra Broodmasters, one of the few creatures we've got that's got 7 power. Obviously the monstrosity effect with all the ramp we've got will hopefully come into play, and we'll get all those nice little tokens come into play as well, so I'll be quite happy if that goes off. Kadama's here just so we can put other permanents in. Also gives a bit of reach defense. There's a lot of dragon decks cutting around on MTGO at the moment. Multani's also got reach, the other reason they're in here, and we get a lot of lands into play, and it counts the ones we get in our graveyard. So you know, if we sack our Evolving Wilds, Fable Passage, etc., we still get the bonus for them. So, and at the end of the day, if we can return 2 lands you control to the hand, we get to return it from our graveyard, so it gives us a bit of recursion if we need it. Storm the Vesticles here just as a trial, really. 6 mana, look at the top 5, put 2 permanent cards for mana value 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Yeah, you know, some of the time it'll just hit 2 lands, fine. Some of the time it'll hit some of our good 5 drops, fine. Flash it back from 10 mana, not so great, but we'll see how it goes. Vigors here. We've got one of the incarnations, we might as well have the other one. I haven't included the red one, I didn't think it was good enough for the deck. But Vigor's really very good. Making all your creatures really big with all the +1/+1 counters does cause your opponents some headaches. So yeah, that's why we're here. We've got 2 versions in Niv Mizzet. The Firemind, draw the cards and ping someone, and you know, ping someone and draw a card. That's all good. I've included Domri City Smasher. That's an unusual one. It's not a planeswalk you'll see fairly often. It came from Ravnica Allegiance. It was one of the old planeswalker type decks that came out around that time. But the +2 is really interesting. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain haste. It's got -3 as well. It deals 3 damage, and -8 put 3 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Those creatures gain trample till the end of turn. So if we can get it to go off, even the +2 is really good. A couple of turns of +2 and then maybe a -8, we might win the game really quickly. Progenitor Mimics here just so we can copy some of the creatures. Literally, as long as it stays in the battlefield, it will take over a game, basically. I've seen it happen. I've done it myself. Start copying things, it gets very good very quickly. Fable of Wolf and Passage, Fable of Wolf and Owl, sorry, is a 6 mana enchantment that's quite expensive. However, casting green or blue spells does give us tokens. You get one that's green and blue, say like Morietta over here, you get a wolf and a bird. You can't complain about this. I have noticed just rapidly while we're sitting here talking about this, the one card I did want to include to take advantage of all this is not in the deck. It is now, and we're going to drop out something for it. I don't quite know what. Maybe a land. 36. No, I don't really want to drop a land. Let's drop something that's completely irrelevant in this deck. We'll drop Saheeli out. No, not that one. We'll drop Ral out. We haven't got enough instants of sorceries to take advantage of it, so we'll drop Ral out. See, I am changing it live as we record this. But yeah, the Fable of Wolf and Owl is really good. So it's an interesting enchantment. It's quite cheap on MTGO. It's quite expensive in the UK in real life. I'm not quite sure why, but hey hum. Right. Avengers Zendikar, you saw me add in. It's very nice if you can blink it with not blink it, sorry. Get it out into play and keep it going. It's quite nice. Likewise for Hornet Queen. Having those nice little flyers with Death Touch really does save your thing. And Nyx Bloom Ancients in here just because we need to ramp quicker. And if we can start dropping lots of big things, it's even better for us. Create Who if you saw me add. And then there is Commit to Memory. This isn't really here for the first bit. This is really here for the second bit where we get to shuffle our hand and graveyard back into our library and draw 7 new cards. Now, it's a different take on Animar. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not sure I've built it right at all. As you see, I've been playing around with it. It's one of those decks I've had sitting here for a while. I'm trying to update it at the moment, so it may change. But this is the deck I'm going to post. This is the deck I'll probably end up playing on stream at some stage this week. So, as usual, if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. Hit the follow button. Come and join me. I've got 28 followers at the moment on YouTube, which is nice. Magic 1,000. It's a long way off for me, but the more of you hit that might get me up a little bit in the algorithm, so please do that. Likewise, come and follow me on Twitch. My goal for the end of August is to try and get 120 followers. I'm at 97 at the moment, so if you've got time, just come and hit the Twitch link down below. Give me a follow over there. I'd really appreciate it. But that's it for me for now. Hope you enjoyed this little video. I suspect there's lots I've missed out again. Let me know what I've done wrong. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you next time I'm on the YouTube channel. Take care, or hopefully I'll see you on stream. Take care. Bye.